I'm gonna try it. Should I try it? Should I abandon?
I mean, it's definitely not gonna work.
We'll just try it. Today I have for you 4 cocktails that I love having for gathering. They're festive, they're merry, they're bright. We have a Chai Negroni, which has chai infused gin. We have what I'm calling Santa's juice, which is basically a cranberry holiday margarita. We have a smoked old fashioned, and we also have my boozy holiday sangria. Let's go ahead and start off with my boozy holiday sangria. This is not your typical sangria. A, it's a little bit boozy. B, it is very festive with a homemade orange clove honey simple syrup. You can bring it together up to 2 or 3 days ahead of time. The longer it sets, the better it is. To bring together the clove and orange honey simple syrup, you just add 1 cup honey to 1 cup water in a small saucepan and simmer it on the stove. While the honey and water are heating up, I add 2 cinnamon sticks, add about half a teaspoon of whole cloves. I also add a few slices of orange peel. I'm just going to give this a little stir, and you want this to stay on the heat until the honey dissolves into the water, which will take about 3 to 5 minutes. After the honey and the water come together, you can remove it from the heat and you will cover it and let those spices steep into the honey simple syrup. While our orange and clove simple syrup is steeping, we can go ahead and basically assemble this sangria. For the sangria, I really like using oranges, pears, apples, and cranberries. I'm also going to be using 2 bottles of red wine and some orange liqueur. Just gonna roughly cube these up. I also scrubbed these really well, seeing as they are going to be steeping in our sangria. This is the orange. As you can see, we used some of the peel from this orange for our simple syrup. I'm also gonna throw it in the sangria. I am not gonna take off the peel. We don't need to. We have our pear. All of our fruit is roughly chopped besides the cranberries. You can use frozen cranberries and just add them into the sangria right before you serve it or take it to a party, and those frozen cranberries will keep the sangria nice and cold. Am I a little nervous this picture is not big enough? Yes. Yes. I can't find our picture, the one I use basically once a year for my holiday sangria, but you know what? We move every 3 years, so I can't believe I've held on to it as long as I have. We're gonna see what we can do. Do you think I can do it? And go with the cranberries. This is a delicate procedure. Oh my gosh, cranberry down, cranberry down. He's been rescued. Search and rescue. Let's talk about the wine. This sangria calls for 2 bottles of wine, and listen to me, you all. We are not putting expensive wine into our sangria, okay? We're not gonna put a really nice bottle of wine with apples and oranges. This is the time to get a very inexpensive red wine. I go to Trader Joe's. I think this is a $6 GSM. They are also red blends. They are Grenache, Syrah, and Mourvedre. I love a GSM blend because Grenache is already really fruity and bright. Now let's perform magic, because I need these 2 bottles to fit in here, along with our 1 cup of simple syrup, along with half a cup of orange liqueur. Cast your vote. We'll just try it. Look, that's not that much. This is not gonna work. New plan. These are kitchen solutions. If you do not have a pitcher big enough to fit this big batch of sangria, you can use mason jars, or I have these soup containers that I love so much. I am going to pour some of it into here, and I actually like that more because when I go to serve this sangria, if I set this out on the table, these can stay chilled in the refrigerator, and I can just replenish the sangria as it goes down. So actually, this was a better solution. I already took some of the fruit from this pitcher and added it into here. This is the 2nd bottle of wine. I'm gonna go ahead and pour in quite a bit. I wanna leave some room for the orange liqueur and the simple syrup. I'm gonna add the rest of the red wine. Next, I'm gonna add half a cup of orange liqueur. I'm using Grand Marnier, but you can also use cointreau or triple sec. This is the boozy part of the sangria. I'm gonna put about half in here and the rest in here. This is our orange and clove simple syrup. It's been steeping for about 20 minutes. I'm gonna give it a taste. Do strain it. We don't want anyone choking on a clove. Oh, it is so good. I get the clove and the orange peel and a little bit of that cinnamon. It tastes like Christmas in my mouth. And I'm just gonna add most of it to here and then a little bit here. And here we have our Holiday Sangria. This can go straight into the refrigerator and stay there until you are ready to serve. Our next holiday cocktail is what I am calling Santa's juice. You all, it is basically a cranberry margarita. We use tequila, cranberry, honey simple syrup, some cranberry juice, and fresh squeezed orange juice. I also love to serve this cocktail at parties because you can swap out the liquor. So if someone prefers gin or if they prefer vodka, you can use those in place of the tequila. For our cranberry honey simple syrup, I have just combined half a cup of water and half a cup of honey, and I am simmering that until the honey and the water come together. And now I'm going to add my cranberries. That's half a cup of cranberries, so it's a basically 1:1:1 ratio. I just let this simmer until the cranberries pop a little bit, so you get some of that really delicious flavor from them. It takes about 8 minutes. Our cranberry honey simple syrup is done. It is off the heat, and we can bring this cocktail together. You can bring that simple syrup together days ahead of time. You'll want a cocktail shaker filled with ice. This makes one. We have the juice from one orange. I'm just going to strain it. I am sorry to report, but I could not do Santa's job, and it is not for the reason you think. At the end of the day, the facts are I am not a sweets girly. So milk and cookies are just not gonna fuel me, you know? But give me Santa's juice. Give me a little cranberry tequila margarita situation. I might not get the job done, but I will be very merry. 1 ounce cranberry juice, 1 ounce orange liqueur or Grand Marnier, juice from half a lime, 2 ounces tequila, and remember this is when you can add gin or vodka in place of tequila. And 1 ounce of our cranberry honey simple syrup. If you want it sweeter, you can add more honey simple syrup. If you want it a little bit more tart, you can add the rest of the lime. And shake and serve. It is such a pretty cocktail. It just reminds me of the holidays. Let me give it a little taste, you know, quality control. Oh. It does smell like a holiday margarita. Oh my gosh, you all. Cheers. Next festive cocktail is a Chai Negroni, and Jeremy and I were at a liquor store a few weeks ago, and Jeremy found this chai infused gin. So he brought together this Chai Negroni, which is so delicious. It's a little lighter, but it still has all of those holiday notes that you really like. If you cannot find chai infused gin, this one is from the Few Distillery. You can make your own at home. It's really simple. Take 1 cup of plain gin, and you're just gonna add about a tablespoon of chai black tea to it, and put it in a mason jar or something that has a lid, and then you're just gonna let it steep about an hour. Every 20 minutes you're gonna want to shake it up just to make sure that that tea is really infusing all of the gin. After an hour, give it a taste. If you want it to have more of a chai flavor, leave it in there for another hour, making sure to just shake it every once in a while, and then you will have your chai infused gin. If you're like, I'm all in, I'm ready to do this with a whole bottle, then you can do a whole bottle, 750 milliliters, with about 4 to 5 tablespoons of chai black tea, or 4 to 5 tea bags. A classic Negroni is 1:1:1, and it's usually gin, vermouth, and an aperitif like Aperol. For this one, because we don't want to lose the note of the chai in the gin, we're gonna make it a little lighter. So we're using a Blanc vermouth, which can be a little bit sweeter, and we're using Sailor's aperitif, which is also a little bit lighter and a little bit sweeter. 1.5 ounces of gin, 1.5 ounces of Blanc vermouth, I got it from here, and 1.5 ounces of the Sailor's aperitif. And we're gonna stir to combine. I like to serve my Negronis over a large spherical ice ball, so that is what I have here. Cheers. It's so refreshing, but it has those really yummy winter spice notes that we love. Highly recommend. Lastly, it is the show-stopping smoked old fashioned. This is a great cocktail to serve near the end of the night when some of the guests have left, some of them are still lingering, or if you just want to impress everybody with smoking this old fashioned. I am going to use a smoker to smoke this old fashioned, and I'll link below the smoker that we use. If you don't have a smoker, the recipe for this old fashioned alone is delicious. We've had so many people tell us it's the best old fashioned they've ever had. So even if you don't have the smoker, this is such a classic and delicious cocktail recipe. To bring this cocktail together, we are going to add everything to a mixing glass. We do 2 ounces of bourbon, 1 ounce simple syrup, And then we do 3 dashes of Angostura bitters and 3 dashes of orange bitters. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Well, the bitters are stuck to my ice. There we go. Of course, you can't forget the bourbon-soaked cherries. We really like the Luxardo brand. And you all, look at this little antler. We have festive cocktail picks. This is our smoker, and this is the base to our smoking cloche. I am going to go ahead and get some wood chips in here and then light it on fire to get the smoke going. Within 5 minutes, we'll have a deliciously smoked old-fashioned. All the smoke is now trapped in there, and we are just gonna let this set for about 3 to 5 minutes to let it get all nice and smoky. It's been a few minutes, you all. This is my favorite part because this is where it's like magic. I'm just gonna release the smoke. This drink is so cozy and so delicious. Cheers. Oh, every time. And those are some of my favorite holiday cocktails. I hope that you found at least 1, if not 2, cocktails that you are excited to make for your gatherings this holiday. Cheers! This is not gonna work.